Good morning. Welcome back to Venture Daily. On today's show, Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference 25 begins today, but expectations are low and the company may have much bigger things to worry about than a disappointing keynote.
And we give you a recap of the messy breakup heard around the internet and how we predict Trump's expected retaliation will affect Musk's companies. I'm Josiah Simons.
I'm Jackson Fordyce. It's Monday, June 9th. Let's get you smarter before your first meeting. San Francisco cops just got a $9.4 million gift from crypto billionaire. Ripple's Chris Larson is personally funding a drone army and a massive new command center for the SFPD.
That's right, 10 new drone launch pads, a 14,000 square foot surveillance HQ, and citywide drone coverage. A San Francisco police captain literally said, we're going to be covering the entire city with drones.
The money also covers 2 brand new drone models and a backup role for firefighters. Think thermal imaging search and rescue bots.
And just a reminder, the last time Larson tried funding public safety, it turned into a 34-count felony case. But hey, new drones, new office, new oversight? All right, before we jump in, I want to tell you about Public. If you take investing seriously, you need to know about public.com. That's where you can invest in everything: stocks, options, bonds, crypto. You can even earn some of the highest yields in the industry, like the 7% or higher yield you can lock in with a bond account. Public is a FINRA-registered, SIPC-insured platform that takes your investments as seriously as you do. Fund your account in 5 minutes or less at public.com/venture and get up to $10,000 when you transfer your old portfolio. Paid for by Public Investing. Full disclosure, podcast description. Check it out, public.com/venture. That's our link. Let the people know down at Public who sent you. The guys here at Venture Daily.
Venture.
All right, Jackson.
Yep.
Tell us. It's the first story of the day.
It's a big story today. Probably in the next maybe hour or so, or maybe happening right now. Apple's WWDC 25 Worldwide Developers Conference is happening.
A year ago, WWDC 24, they announced Apple Intelligence to quite, I think it was pretty exciting. People were excited about, okay, finally we're going to see what Apple is going to tell us about AI and how they're going to give us their unique take on it.
Yep.
Then we get a year later and almost nothing has happened.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about what the rumors are for today.
Okay.
Modest AI rollout.
Modest. Exactly what you need right now.
Yeah.
After everyone's announcing just everything in the last several weeks and months.
Right.
We're gonna go modest.
Every demo, like Google's VO3 was just insane.
Yeah, now they're putting Gemini across every single one of their platforms.
Yeah.
And
then the expectation is that today's AI rollout is going to be
Okay.
But they're targeting 2026 for a bigger splash. Okay, what else are they announcing today? Game Center is getting replaced by a new centralized gaming app.
Game Center.
And then iOS is getting some updates. Maybe the biggest of which is that iOS 19 is skipping some birthdays and will now be iOS 26.
What is that?
Which I guess they're stealing the playbook from EA because FIFA 26 comes out in 2025.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. They just want it to be the year that iOS is now going to match.
I wonder if they're just making everyone underwhelmed ahead of time with all the rumors, and they're going to make a giant we're acquiring OpenAI.
Right.
Johnny's coming back.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. Apple stock is reflecting this disappointing news.
Yep.
It has slid nearly 20% since the first of this year, which is the worst run the shares have experienced ahead of the company's WWDC event since at least 2010, I think it is.
Okay.
So check it out here. So if you're listening, we're looking at the stock price here. It's $203.92 as of this morning. I'm not sure. Jackson, check what it is right now. This was this morning before market open.
It's gone insane.
It's gone up?
204.12.
Okay.
Up 20 cents this morning.
Up 20 cents this morning. So it started at 243 at the start of this year, dropped 40 points pretty much. So 36 points.
It's just been underwhelming. It's been underwhelming to say the least.
Yeah.
Of every time someone announces something new and Apple doesn't, it just hurts more and more and more.
Yeah.
At least for Apple investors, yeah.
So then, so let's talk about Apple Intelligence a little more. A year ago, everyone's excited. Now everyone's like, when are we actually going to get some updates?
Okay.
And everyone's expecting that this was going to be a year from now. Last year, they're going to say, oh, that's when we're going to get all the big updates. And now they're pushing that off to 2026.
Yep.
So, Jackson, if you had to guess, Apple Intelligence, right? Before I get to that, Apple Intelligence is the biggest thing of the headlines right now. Right. However, Apple Intelligence is not the biggest worry for Apple
Okay.
at all. And I want to tell you a bit about that. If you had to guess, how do you think Apple makes its money? Like, what's the breakdown of the $391 billion in revenue?
I would say, I don't know the full breakdown, but I would imagine that most of it is the iPhone or their products, like
Right.
their handheld products.
Okay, yes. So you're correct. iPhone is a big part of it.
Okay.
So on screen right now, we're showing the $391 billion
that's right.
revenue year over year. 51%, so over half of all of their revenue is iPhones.
Okay.
A quarter, 25%, is just services. So Mac, iPad, wearables, those are all less than its services by a big margin. And the services is what Apple is like really worried about right now because they're in trouble. They're facing legal threats to two key revenue streams. Okay, so the fees it charges app developers is one of them. And then the $20 billion every single year it makes from Google search.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's their services division boasts a 74% gross margin, double that of its hardware business.
Yeah.
So if those two things get hit by these legal like battles that they're in and the app developer charges and the fees they're allowed to put on apps.
And then now the tariffs too. If those end up affecting the iPhone, 51% of their revenue makeup.
Yeah. So it's like everyone's talking about WWDC 25 today, and are they going to announce things with Apple Intelligence? Will that make the stocks? It's literally the least of their worries right now. So for more on that, I hear that you talked to someone named Jaymes Davis.
Yeah, I talked to Jaymes Davis.
My name is Jaymes Davis. I'm the Chief Technical Evangelist for Kasm Technologies.
And I think the biggest question I wanted to ask James just to start was, are we looking at the beginning of the end or the beginning of a long-term unraveling of Apple's business model, given the conversation that we just had about tariffs and everything else?
Yeah.
That's a great question. And I think it really falls directly into the idea of what Apple Intelligence was supposed to be about, the vision, right? And how that ties directly to the problems with the tariffs and the vulnerabilities. Because the thing that they really went after was personal context, right? The understanding that the actual personal context around Apple Intelligence would be actually on device, which is what's causing the idea of being able to have the right chips, the right manufacturing in the right location. And so the AI models, they move so fast that you can't really do this integrated hardware model that Apple's doing today and make sure that it's as fast as possible. It's like a level of perfection, right? And where AI models are happening, I don't know, one happened like a couple minutes ago, right? So they're happening so fast, it's hard for the hardware to keep up. Whereas, in the previous world, it was the hardware could be integrated and it could have the right pieces. So it's not necessarily the worst business model. I think it's that they're a laggard in this particular space, but when they actually make it, they're going to make, the same great movements that they've currently did because they'll have all the pieces integrated together from the app to the hardware. And if they can keep that dream of personal context, that's it.
Yeah, it's a big if they can keep that dream of personal context, if they can unveil or show off something like this. Is the conference over the next couple of days?
Yeah, it's the next couple of days.
Yeah.
It's I think the next 3 days, and Apple is like notoriously secretive, so they might have something like huge that they're just letting it all simmer right now, and they're going to launch something big today or tomorrow. So it's possible. It's possible that they have something like James is talking about, where they're just kind of biding their time and they're going to drop something really cool.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case today. Unfortunately, I would love to see something like that. I think that's super exciting whenever there's a new drop like that and Apple getting actually back in the game, but I do not have that bet.
Here's the thing. Apple needs to speed up because OpenAI and Johnny Ive are trying to build the iPhone killer. So, sorry about this jump
Look at
scare.
that.
That's Sam Altman, Johnny Ive.
That's Mom and Dad.
So basically, there's this new AI device that they're building. Sam Altman, OpenAI just acquired Johnny Ive's IO for $6.5 billion, which is insane.
Right.
But here's the rumors about their new AI device. So check out this image here. This is like a generated image. Obviously, it's not going to look exactly like that, but credit to bengerman on X, who made this image of what IO's device might possibly look like.
Yeah.
And what's it going to do? It's going to be a direct competitor to Apple. So you've got your iPhone and your MacBook. This is apparently a third core device, according to Sam Altman. So no screen, just cameras and microphones, and it'll be fully aware of your surroundings, apparently, and your life. So it's like an AI companion, but it's also like taking in all this information about your life, about your habits and your personality, and it's catering every single thing.
It's her.
Yeah, it is her. I mean, it's going to be your girlfriend or your friend or your best buddy
boyfriend.
or like, if you think your iPhone is your best friend, wait till this thing drops.
Yeah. How do you phrase it? The third core device?
Third core device
Sam Altman said that, yeah.
next
right.
to the iPhone and the MacBook that you have.
Yeah, and it's I was asking James this kind of question of like, in a post iPhone world, should Apple be worried of real disruption of like OpenAI making this kind of device that Apple used to make?
Sure.
Yeah, I think so. But there's a parallel, right? And that parallel is kind of like the BlackBerry, right? Back in the day, BlackBerry had a level of reliability. Like enterprises loved the BlackBerry. It would be the Crackberry, right? But it had the little model that it felt within was having the keyboard on it all the time, right? And so everybody could pull it out and do a thing. Whereas the smartphone and the iPhone didn't have a keyboard at all when it first came out. It was still a manual process, the switching up or trying to do the right keys, and it didn't always catch your fingers at the right space. So they were a laggard in that particular space at that point in time. But through right iterations, multiple iterations that they needed to be into, I don't know if you still own a BlackBerry, but I know many people who own an iPhone because of that level of integration and that level of iteration that they were willing to do.
Yeah, I mean, he said he knows many people who own an iPhone. That's 2.35 billion active Apple devices. I don't know the exact number on iPhones, but 2.35 billion active Apple devices are owned by its devoted customers right now.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll be saying in the future one day, like, yeah, we have people who've used the iPhone. I don't know anyone who's the BlackBerry. We'll say, we know people who use, Sam Altman and Johnny Ive's device. I don't know anyone who's the iPhone anymore. Yeah, the IO.
My gosh.
Or whatever they're going to call it. And so,
I mean, obviously, technology will move eventually to there. Apple's not going to be the king for the next 1,000 years.
We don't know that.
Well, I guess it's possible, but they're going to be dethroned at some point, right? So that is a future that is like the most likely outcome.
Yeah. And, I was also asking, James, with, Apple's biggest moat is customer loyalty.
For sure.
It's anyone who has any of your friends, they have Apple products, iPhone, MacBook, etc., but with no iPhone super cycle and no paid AI product, and they're not growing a ton, right? Is the company just waiting out the clock, or, what actually sparks this next wave of consumer demand?
So that's a good question. I'd kind of position that question more like, imagine if they had a big stadium and it was the best stadium in the world, right? But they got a really sucky team, right? And unfortunately, they've got to get their stuff together before those fans start leaving, right? Because those fans leave, and when that happens, everything goes downhill. So they've got to start figuring out a way to get there. Now, personally, I can do our Kasm movement here is that we actually deliver Kasm AI applications and such to any device anywhere. So that's the chasm between where Apple's at right now, in which they're trying to make it with the hardware that they've been putting into play. But of course, the AI applications are emerging so fast, and they still need delivery, and they still want to use their devices. This is where having the right software, cloud environments is going to make the overall difference.
I appreciate the shameless plug from James. You got to do it.
I have to do it. And I'm wondering what team is that, like, currently, that has a beautiful giant stadium no one goes to? Because the team just sucks.
WNBA maybe? I don't know.
My goodness.
I don't know. They don't have big, beautiful stadiums necessarily, but they might play in an NBA stadium, and then it's like,
or
a third full.
Those MLB stadiums, like the Miami Marlins Stadium. It's massive. It's really, really pretty. It's brand new. No one goes to the games.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they just suck?
They do suck, but also I think they've been good too in the past, but no one goes to the games. But I think that it's a good parallel between the two of them.
Yeah.
And you and I have been talking a bunch about our predictions of what's going to happen today.
Yep.
What better person to actually ask on their opinion of someone who knows what they're talking about really, really well is James. And so I asked him my last question, do you expect today or this week that we're going to see a big unveiling of an AI product? Are they going to be quiet about this, or is there going to be a big leap for the next cycle? And so this is what James's answer was for that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a delayed gratification conversation, right? I think that's what's going to happen in this particular one. They'll announce some really great capabilities that they've been able to build the right use case around, but sometimes perfectionism or their level of movement may be a little bit too bad for this time period, for this technology. As you saw at the Google conference or any of the RSAs and such, they're all talking AI. They're all talking about the advancements. They're talking about the ones that they can physically touch. Hey, you'll have it released tomorrow. New models are coming out tomorrow. You'll see a video about the summarization or deep research, and you'll be able to do that tomorrow. Those type of things are what's driving this innovation cycles that are in play right now. So I think Apple has to do the right catch up when they're at the developer conference that's coming up and actually showcase how Apple's really take the stance around that personal context. If they can do that, because that's what we lost in the social world. We lost the ability in the social world because we're giving data away, and that data is being acted upon currently today. Now, in this personal context world, if you can make on-device decisions that are using either small language models or large language models directly on the actual device and keeping the context there, that's going to make the entire difference to a lot of the data center sprawl, a lot of the privacy issues that we're worried about with AI that come into play, and of course a lot of the security that you want to have in play.
It's a tough situation because it's like Apple's today, like he's basically saying they can't just keep saying coming soon, coming soon, coming soon.
Yeah.
They have to drop something great today. But every expectation for today's conference is that they're not going to drop something great.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out in the next, couple of hours, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow on Venture Daily, and then the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
Yeah.
Begging, hoping, pleading. Will there be something new and exciting coming up? But we really appreciate you, Jaymes Davis, for being on the show today. Thanks for joining Venture Daily.
All right, Jackson,
Yes.
Tell us about Trump, Elon. We need to give a recap to our audience because we didn't talk about it on Friday, but we should have probably.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it Friday because I feel like, there was still such a moving story that, things were going to update over and over and over again. And so this is,
Right.
if you don't know what's going on, this is what happened last week. Donald Trump is trying to push forward this thing called the Big Beautiful Bill. And within that bill, there are there's no more EV tax cuts, right? So they're cutting a big part of the budget around electric vehicles. And that really upset Elon Musk in a really, really big way. He started tweaking on social media. But before then, though, like the week before, Musk was given a key to the White House, like an honorary key to the White House of like
Key to the White House.
For-
Was
thank
it a
you.
gold key?
It's I think it actually was a gold, like a physical gold key or some sort of key where they're like, thank you for your service with Doge. Your time at the White House is done. You have an open, invite to come back whenever you like.
And a Starlink Wi-Fi router apparently
And
too.
a Starlink
We'll
Wi-Fi.
get to that
We'll
as
get to
well.
that in a second. And so, that all happens. Musk goes insane on X.
Yeah, he goes sick with it.
He goes sick with it, bashing the bill, saying it's a disgusting bill. I think he said it's pork filled. It's nasty. Mainly, kind of talking about all these the EV stuff, right? And so
Sure.
Trump claps back at him, says like, "Dude, like you're crazy. Relax. Like it's a great bill."
It's a big, beautiful bill.
It's a big, beautiful bill. Musk goes even harder. Says, "You know what, dude? You are on the Epstein flight logs. That's why you're not releasing the logs."
Okay.
Everyone's like, "Holy, guacamole!"
And everyone knows this part, but it is the absolute biggest part of the story.
Yes.
Like he goes full nuclear mode.
Yes.
What's the way that people phrase that? Like he launches the nuke.
Yeah, he drops it.
He drops the nuke.
Yes.
Out of the blue. Like Elon just has no sense of escalation.
Yeah, it's like when you're fighting with your ex and you just post online like, "Oh, by the way, they have an STD."
Like-
It's like, "Oh, dude, you did not have to say that."
Like thank God Elon is not. He wasn't like a military guy during the Cold War because he would have absolutely just pressed the button.
Yeah, what's the joke? I think Trump said like, "Dude, you're not even from here. Like, I can send you away. You can leave."
Really?
Yeah, and then Elon was like, he said something like, "Yeah, good luck, with all the communications that you used to tweet from me to me because I control the communications with like
Right,
Starlink and
okay.
all these different things."
Sure.
So right
Goodness.
now they're not on speaking terms. What are the people who speak on behalf of the president?
I don't know his
His
staff?
aides, like it's the aides
Okay,
of
yeah,
to
White
Trump.
House staff.
Yeah, the White House staff, the White House aides to Trump and to Elon are saying like, yeah, they're not going to have a conversation. They try to make a conversation between the two just to reconcile something, but
I
they're-
think Theo Vaughn could bring him onto the show. I think he could make this happen.
for sure. But now what Musk's saying is like, yeah, bring JD Vance and let JD Vance be the president. But JD Vance, he's another tech guy too. He's owned by all the
Peter Thiel.
Yeah, he's owned by Peter Thiel.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's a lot of things, but he is not a long-suffering man. Like he doesn't tolerate disloyalty. So here's my prediction, Jackson.
Okay.
I think he's going to retaliate because Musk didn't just say some mean things. Like, he literally said the worst thing he could think of, trying to do the most damage, saying, like, in no unclear language, Trump was on the Epstein list.
Yeah.
So Trump's going to retaliate. Like,
Okay.
I'm sure of it. So
There's no building the bridge back.
there's no building the bridge back. So let's talk likelihood of retaliation for each of Musk's companies. I made a tier
Okay.
list.
Oh, fun.
And I want to go through the tier list of just my personal predictions. So let me pull this up. We've got on top S tier. And this is all of Elon's company. So XAI, Neuralink, SpaceX, Tesla, Boring Company, Starlink, Twitter X.
Sure.
Okay. On top, S tier. Trump will try to crush it.
Yes.
A tier. Okay. Trump is going to, have some real effort at sabotaging it, or federal scrutiny involved. So that's A tier. B tier is Trump will
Well, mock it.
mock
Or
it.
maybe something worse.
Maybe something worse. D tier is that's A, B. No, sorry. C tier is maybe a pot shot or two from 45, 47. Maybe a pot shot or two.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
finally, F tier, we've got he's not going to try to crush it at all. He's actually probably going to try to help.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So Jackson, tell me, pick one of these companies and I will tell you what I think. Where I put it.
SpaceX has the biggest logo on there. Let's go with SpaceX.
Let's go with
first.
SpaceX. Okay. I think SpaceX is going to be down in the C tier.
Really?
Here's why. So
Dude, they're going to Mars.
they're going to Mars. They are. But C tier is good. C tier is good. He's not going to, like, Trump. SpaceX is just too useful for, let me click to this. Okay. Sorry, everybody. Here we are. SpaceX is just too useful to Trump's, like, America first image.
Okay.
So I think maybe he takes a pot shot at it because one or two, but it aligns with space dominance, national pride. Like, if the feud deepens, Trump could mock it, maybe claim success, credit for SpaceX success, but I just don't see him.
It doesn't make sense either because he just had the executive order about lifting, travel velocity speeds with supersonic,
Right.
whatever.
No, I think he's like all in on the space.
Okay.
And so
Sure.
I think SpaceX is safe.
Okay.
Next one.
Yeah. Let's do X. Where they've been fighting.
X, I think is going to be an A tier.
Oh.
Here's the thing about X.
Oh no.
Okay. Let's put it up in the A tier. Big one here. So Elon reinstated Trump's account on X. We all know that.
Yes.
Trump didn't go to X. He stayed with Truth Social.
Yes.
Okay. He will continue to. But I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a Truth Social bomb coming. Like, Trump's not just going to let this happen. He doesn't just roll over and die. Like, he is going to drop something way bigger than, oh, this guy's addicted to ketamine. He's going to say, like, something big, and it's going to come out on Truth Social. He's going to spill the beans.
Has he been posting the Truth Social at all?
Of course, every day, every minute. Then Trump will start calling X the anti-free speech platform, and he'll tell MAGA to get off of X. I don't know if that's going to accomplish much,
Yeah.
but I think he's going to go after X. I think it's A tier, like, it's going to be a target of his.
Arrest the people in face masks now.
Yeah, LA, crazy. Okay,
Okay.
Give me the
Next,
next one.
let's do Boring Company.
Boring Company, I'm going F tier for that. Okay.
And
I
nothing.
Yeah,
nothing's
I don't
happening
think
there.
he's even going to care. It's harmless to Trump. Quirky, unthreatening, apolitical, but I think what he's going to say sometime soon is MAGA safe, MAGA friendly tunnels under blue cities. So I think he's going to be like pushing the Boring Company still.
Sure. Okay.
No problem with that. Next company.
Let's go Neuralink.
Okay, Neuralink is in trouble.
Why?
I think Neuralink is B tier. And the reason is that it's small, but it's vulnerable, right?
Okay.
So Trump, I think, is going to frame it as this transhumanist, globalist,
Well, it is.
brain chips for elites
Yes.
narrative.
Yes.
And he's going to be like, yeah, I don't like all that. He's old. He's like 80. He
Yeah,
doesn't
like 81.
he doesn't believe in the future of brain chips for humans.
Yeah, he's gonna plant an idea in Alex Jones's head, and then Alex Jones is gonna go on a rampage talking about
Right.
the demon chips inside our heads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, this just doesn't align, I think, with Trump's like ethos.
Okay, and they just raised what $650 million, so even more fuel to just like, I'm gonna destroy Elon right where it hurts because he just did like a big thing with Neuralink.
See, you get it.
I get it.
Next company.
What's the one on the far right? Starlink.
That's Starlink. Yeah.
Okay, so Starlink.
Okay, Starlink is in trouble as well.
Oh my gosh, everything's in trouble.
Starlink is in trouble, and dude, I was gonna put it in C tier, but 2 stories just came out this weekend. Okay, check this out. So, the campaign to discredit Starlink, like, it has started. First, Elon Musk's Starlink internet terminal was secretly installed on the White House complex by his Doge team, and it just was found out this weekend.
That's what I think I meant when he's like, good luck, because you're tweeting or you're posting from like the connection to my Starlink.
Yeah, no, he created this Starlink guest Wi-Fi network without property security protocols like MFA or VPN, and it alarmed the White House. So communication experts said, like, they warned it could let sensitive government data out and be transmitted undetected and expose it to foreign hackers, the White House's own security. So
that makes horrifying.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Discredit Starlink as unsafe and easy to hack. And then the second story that came out this weekend is that United Airlines temporarily disabled its newly installed Starlink Wi-Fi on nearly 24 Embraer E175 regional jets due to static interference in VHF pilot radio communications.
Oh my gosh.
But the issue's being fixed apparently. Regular maintenance isn't considered a flight safety concern. Maybe Trump, maybe not, but the timing seems a little sus. It seems like maybe he's kind of like through the back channels putting Starlink on, on blast.
He's throttling it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I got Tesla and XAI left.
Let's do Tesla.
Okay, Tesla is going to be a B tier.
Okay. Well, he's already kind of hit Tesla.
He's already hit Tesla a little bit.
With the big beautiful
bill. But the thing with Tesla is, so did you see this in the weekend? He reportedly is getting rid of his Tesla that Elon gifted him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that a Cybertruck?
I think it was like I can't remember if it was a Cybertruck or what, but it was on the front lawn of the White House.
Burning.
He's recently called EVs a hoax, pushed by the radical left.
Yeah, that's what it was in the bill. Like, there was gonna be that EV mandate, and they took the mandate out. That's what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't think Tesla's getting any more favors from Don. And then finally,
go ahead.
The last one,
XAI
is going to be,
it has to be 1
S tier. I had to put 1 in S tier. I don't think he's really going to actually go after XAI in like the biggest way possible. But here's why I put it in S tier.
Okay.
Like, Trump is, I think, this is my prediction. Trump is going to back OpenAI as the only like trustworthy AI brand. I think he's going to do that. And then he's going to brand Grok as fake news sometime in the next 6 months. That's my prediction.
Wow. Yeah. Go to Polymarket and put Trump's calling Grok fake news.
Yeah.
By 6 months? Before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year, yeah. Before year 1, end of Trump's, term 2. That's my prediction.
I just want to see more. I want to see more tweeting. I want to see more yelling. I want to see more crying. I want to see more fighting between the 2 greatest leaders of our country's history.
Those are my predictions. Tell me what you think in the comments. You probably disagree with all of them, but I think that we are about to see Trump retaliate in a big way on where it's going to hit Elon the hardest, his companies, like his wallet.
Yeah,
wallet. He has said, I don't care about money. Take away my money. He's given his like TikTok edit moment.
Yeah, there was I just saw, I'm not sure if this is true, but this is from MSN, that his net worth dropped by $35 billion yesterday.
Which is like pocket change for him.
17%.
17%. Yeah, that if I lost 17% of my net worth,
you lost $17.
I would have lost around $100.
Now you have $83.
Yeah. All right, that's it for Venture Daily. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope we helped you get a little bit smarter today.